Hey, Kat here, and I'm here to do a February wrap up as well as a March, TBR thing. Yeah. Also, guys, do you like my shirt? See? It's basically telling us that spiders are still the number one scariest thing in the world, and with today's stuff going on, I think everybody can agree that spiders are freaking terrifying. I mean, I respect them, and we shouldn't kill them all because I also don't like flies, but I would. Oh, I don't like spiders. I think it's because of Shelob from The Lord of the Rings. I was always because I saw that one before Chamber of Secrets, I think. And ever since then, I was like, wait, what? Especially in the book, because she breathes out darkness, and I'm like, what? Anywho, let's get on to the books, I read. So I read 11 books and a lot more graphic novels because I didn't have a lot more time to read because I was going through some crisis. But it's all settled down, so it's chill. But it was a little minor crisis, and so I didn't really have time to read long books. But that's okay, because I still read some really awesome stuff this month. So yeah, let's get started. So one of the mangas I read was Parasite Volume 1, and this is about some alien thing that enters this guy's body, his hand, and it talks to him and stuff, but if there's other alien things that are in these little worms that enter other people, they just full on eat each other. So that's kind of cool. To tell you the truth, I didn't really like the manga. I thought it was going to be something serious, but instead it was a more of a comedy thing, and I didn't really like the artwork, so I probably won't be continuing on with this series, which is fine because I did it for free because I'm part of some free trial or something. So yeah. Another thing I read was Jackalope Wives by Ursula Vernon, and it looks it was part of this magazine. And it's just a little short story that you can read for free online, which is how I read it. And it's so good. I always forget how good Ursula Vernon, is as a writer, because I've read her Seventh Bride, I read her Dragon Breath series, which is her little kids series, and they're just amazing, fun little books. And then her adult ones, like The Seventh Bride and this story, are really fascinating and just whimsical, but all while being kind of dark. I don't know. She's just a fantastic writer, and I love her. Another book I read was Triple X Holic, Volume 9. And then Volume 10, and the series is really, really good. It follows this guy named Watanuki who enters a wish shop, and basically all this crazy stuff happens to him. You do kind of have to read Terabasha Chronicles to understand this, especially you have to read this series before Terabasha Chronicles, because I read Terabasha first and had no idea what was going on with Watanuki and his little storyline. But now I'm reading it, I'm like, oh. So yeah, be warned. I also read Darth Vader Volume 3 and then Volume 4. And this is a series that's part of the Marvel Star Wars series, not the Dark Horse. And it was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. And this is the last one for now. You know how Marvel does that in a really complete storyline. But it's good. I liked it. I liked how Palpatine and Vader just continue messing with each other. I like the doctor chick, even though she was kind of she was basically not wanted to be a Han Solo, but she was a mix of Han Solo and Leia, kind of together. She's sassy but strong-headed and a bit spontaneous. It's the perfect mixture, really, and I really like that about her. I didn't like the one when Star Wars and the Star Wars cast Luke and Leia meet with Vader, but other than that, the series is really good. The next book I read, which is one of my favorite books I read this month, is Clockwork Orange by Anthony Burgess, and I love this. It does take a while to get into the writing style, but oh my god, is this book amazing. It's just so freaking good and messed up, and I feel for the main character, even though he's a total D-bag. And I've never seen the movie, so I had no idea what this was about. I just know my coworker was you would like this, because we always talk about books all the time. And I told him I've never seen or read Clockwork Orange, and he was like, ha, I'm gonna let you borrow it. So I'm super glad he did, and this book was amazing. I'm gonna probably do a review on it soon. So yeah. Another book I read was Fahrenheit 451. This is a library book. I also have it on my Kindle, but I have to do this for school. So, yeah. And to tell you the truth, I thought I was going to hate this because it's a school book. I'm forced to read it, and I usually don't like to be forced to read books. But then again, I've never read a school book I didn't like other than The Eyes Were Watching God. That one was dumb. But this is now one of my top, 10 favorite books of all time is Fahrenheit 451. This book was amazing. I could totally write a freaking research paper about this. This book is so fascinating and just, it blows my mind. And it's kind of a far-fetched future, but really technology isn't that much more advanced than what we have now, other than there's robot dogs. But we can make a robot dog now. And it's kind of weird how it's considered a sci-fi dystopia thing, but really I'm it's not that big of a sci-fi jump. But oh my gosh, it's so good. And it's basically about this guy named Guy Montag, who is a fireman. Firemen in this world burn books and burn scholars too, I guess. And it just follows his story and how he kind of wakes up out of the society. And the ending chapter is one of the best things I've ever read. And it's really, really interesting. And I want to reread it yesterday. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. It's also on my favorite shelf. Another book I read was Preacher Volume 2. Now, this is actually book 1. I had Volume 1. I didn't know there was these bind-up things. And so I got all the rest of the series in the bind-up things, but I didn't get Volume 2 because I didn't know they come like this. So I bought this one, read Volume 2, basically, and now Volume 2 is read. And now it's mine. And it's amazing. I love this series. It's kind of messed up, and it's different from the show, a lot. The show is more of, focusing on the whole Jesse Custer becoming one with his powers, and this one's Jesse Custer lives a really messed up life. And people around him are also messed up. So, yeah. The next book I read was Bloodlines. This is a bind-up of them, of the, 3 and 4 in the Vicky Nelson series. I didn't really like this one that much. In fact, most of it I was just browsing through. I did hear the middle of the series does get kind of weird and dumb. I was just not interested in half of what was going on, but I need to read the series to read the Tony Foster series. So yeah, I'm going to read book 4 and then book 5, which is the final book, and I heard those books are really, really good. It's just this middle book is just filler. So yeah, I hate filler books, but it happens. Whatever. So that's the end of the books I actually read in February. So now to my enormous TBR for March, which is my birthday month. Yay! Birthday month! First off is the book that I've been reading for a while this month is the Norse Mythology book by Neil Gaiman. I've been just kind of reading it during my breaks at work. And I am loving it. Except this is kind of an introduction to Norse mythology is what I would kind of say it is. Because number one, it's super short. And I've grown up on Norse mythology. My dad used to tell me them all the time. In fact, he was Ace of Truth for a while, and we still do rune castings on my birthday every day. This is just a cool introduction to that. He does put his own twist on things, which is fine. I wasn't there. I don't know if these stories are legit or not. And it's just kind of fun. He writes Freya pretty well, which is my hardcore, my favorite goddess. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. And I only have 5 more stories left, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to finish it in March. Next one I'm reading is American Gods and Anansi Boys, because I actually haven't read Anansi Boys, and the TV show is coming out, so I kind of need to reread American Gods so I can be judging the TV show harshly and pretentiously, because that's my favorite thing to do. I like complaining. It is my favorite pastime. That and reading and running, and I have too much time on my hands. And American Gods follows this guy named Shadow who meets up with Mr. Wednesday and meets all these really old gods from Odin, from a whole bunch more that I just literally forgot. It's just from India gods, from Chinese gods. He even meets a few Russian gods. And it's all really interesting. I don't know a lot about the Russian gods or Hindi gods, so I just don't know if it's legit or not, but It's really, really good. It's one of my favorite books of all time, and Neil Gaiman is one of my favorite authors of all time. So, of course, I'm loving it. And then Nazi Boys follows one of the characters' son from American Gods. So, yeah. Next few books I want to read is the next 3 volumes in Saga. I haven't read them yet, so it's volume 4, 5, and 6. And yeah, I just want to catch up on the series. The series used to be a priority to me, but now it's kind of like not. Maybe it's because it's been since like forever since I read volume 3. But I'll probably get back into it after reading volume 4. So then I went to read Nightwing volume 3 because it's been on my shelf forever. I was really enjoying the series, and then I stopped out of nowhere, and I need to read Grayson because I heard Midnighters in it, and I love Midnighter and Apollo. Though I heard they're broken up now in DC Comics, and that's just not chill with me. They were like the perfect couple. They were the perfect couple, and then they just died. Well, they don't die. They just break up or something. Dumb. So, yeah, I need to read Nightwing Volume 3, and then 4 and 5, and I think it goes into Grayson. So, yeah. Next I want to read is Preacher Book 2, and I want to read this so I can just continue on with the series, and plus it kind of ends on a cliffhanger, the book 1, and I need more Cassidy in my life. More, like, I need more Cassidy in my life. I need him in my life. Forever. Next, I was trying to finish this book in February. It didn't really happen because Lestat cries too much, guys. But I want to finish Memnock of the Devil by Anne Rice. In fact, I'm like more than halfway through it. And Lestat kept crying. And I was just like, please stop. Please, Lestat. 5 seconds. Just no crying. Oh my gosh, she cries more than Aragorn from Lord of the Rings. I didn't even know that was possible. That guy cries a lot. These both they should just meet in a room and have a crying fest. Okay? They could just hug each other and things will be fine. In fact, I think Lestat would really dig Strider. Not gonna lie. Next book I want to reread is Game of Thrones Illustrated Edition. I have it now, and I hope they do this for the rest of the series because that would be cool. And I want to read it, love it, touch it with my face. Touch it with my face. And I want to reread the whole series this year. I don't think it's going to happen, but I could try. A girl can dream, you know? And I want to read them and marry them and call them George. Which I just realized is George R.R. Martin. Awkward. I was just making a Looney Tunes reference, but whatever. Then I want to get to book 9 in Patricia Briggs' Mercy Thompson series. This is the last book I need to read before I'm officially caught up with the series, and then I can read book 10, which I don't think will be the last book. The series is going to go on forever. But I haven't read a lot of bad books in this series. In fact, sometimes it's better, like it gets better, and then you have like a bad book, and then the next book is like 10 times better. I don't know, the series is weird, and I love it. I enjoy it, and it follows this girl named Mercy, who can transform into a coyote, and her little adventures with fairy, vampires, werewolves, and the occasional hellhound demon fire thing. Occasionally. It doesn't happen every day. And the next book I have is Red Shirts by John Scalzi. This is a Hugo Award winner. I do have the Kindle version, but I wanted to read this book like at work or something, and I don't like taking my Kindle outside of my house. It just bothers me. I feel like it's going to break. So I got the library book, and I tried John Scalzi before. I tried his Old Man Wars and his Android Dreams of Electric Sleep. I didn't really like it, but I want to read all the Hugo Award winners one day, Over the Rainbow, Way Up High, and this one was one of them. I also want to read the nominations of the Hugo Awards just so I can judge and be like, excuse me, I think that book was dumb because of this reasons, and I can't do that if I haven't read the book. So yeah, so those are all the books I definitely want to read. There are a few books that I kind of want to get to, but if I don't get to them, it's like, whatever. So, yeah, and hopefully I get to all the books. But, of course, it will change because I can't stick with a TBR to save my life, but I can dream, can't I? I can dream. So, yep, that's it. Cheers.